Hey guys, this is Mark here from PFT, and today we have a bit of a different video for you. In fact, today we are going to be doing a retro review of the Nokia 3310. Now, if you've never heard of this handset, which is extremely unlikely considering most people in this country will most likely either know someone or have owned one of these themselves, and when it came out it was an extremely popular device. So this came out in the year 2000, which is over 15 years ago, but this doesn't actually seem like too of an archaic technology. It still keeps up with some of today's standards in regards to making texts and phone calls. Of course, you don't have things like internet access, but there are some pretty impressive features that were really far ahead of the time. Now, as I said, this was extremely popular, and you would see so many people using these. It had many features that were simply ahead of the competition. It could do tons of new things. It had extremely good design, build quality, and came in at a reasonable price. Now, of course, not many people own this phone today, and even less people use it, as phones like iPhones and Samsung phones have much better features and can really do a lot more to help you out, as they are simply more powerful and more feature-rich smartphones. Now, recently, this actually kind of came into a bit of internet fame. The memes kind of go that if you drop this phone, you're more likely to break the thing that you drop it onto rather than the phone itself. And to be honest, for most things, this was pretty much true. I can remember when I was a kid throwing this up in the air, it would drop, the front and back covers would come off, and you would simply be able to put those back on and it would be completely fine. And in many cases, this was simply described as an indestructible phone because it almost was that, almost indestructible. So I kind of thought I would do a bit of a look back and almost a comparison to see how much we have evolved in technology. And please drop a like or a comment down below letting me know if you would like me to do more of these retro reviews, as I have other products in mind that I could do videos like this about. Now, one of the big features of this phone was gaming. Now, of course, these were not games like Crisis 3 or anything like that that have nice graphics and advanced story modes and things like that. These were very simple games, more similar to the likes of Flappy Bird and Crossy Road. So, the most iconic was, of course, Snake, and this actually packed Snake too. So, the idea of Snake is that you are a snake who goes round a small map collecting apples and growing in size, and then if you kind of turn back and eat yourself, which is kind of hard to explain, then you die. Now, most people will have most likely seen this, and the advantages of Snake 2 added some new modes, which was kind of cool. So this gave you the ability to speed up the snake, and of course some new maps. So you had maps with walls or hedges and things like that, which made the game even more fun to play. There were also other games like Pairs and Space Impact, which were both games that are really enjoyable to play, and even though, as I said, they're not exactly graphically advanced at all, they simply are fun, simple, and, as I said, fun to play. Now, as I said about dropping this phone, the full case comes off. Now, on some smartphones nowadays, you can see the back comes off, and that gives you access to things like the battery and SIM card. But on this, the complete front cover comes off as well. Now, this basically makes it a lot easier to do things like customizing and repairing your phone, and the customizable options were vast. Most supermarkets and shops would carry many different front and back covers with cool designs on them. It was a really nice way to personalize your phone that I almost wish we had with smartphones today. Another huge feature of this was the battery life, which wasn't too far ahead of the curve at the time, but comparing it to today's phones, it is on another level. So, on a smartphone today, you would be lucky to get a day out of it, but when this Nokia 3310 was in its prime, you would have been able to get about a week of this device, which seems alien to us now, and is a feature that I would love to see brought back to the smartphone, though sadly is not exactly possible at the moment. This houses a alphanumeric keyboard, which, if you don't know what it is, assigns multiple letters to each key on the number pad, which basically offers an interesting typing experience that takes a while to get used to, though this does pack predictive typing which can speed it up a lot more, though coming from a full keyboard it does get rather annoying. One of the things I really love about this phone is how simplistic it is. The menu is extremely easy to navigate with few necessary options. You can easily find messages, games, settings and more, and it is laid out very well with some nice icons. Now, one of the features I really liked in the settings of this phone was the ringtones. Now, this isn't something we really pay attention to much now, but on phones where you couldn't really download music, this was a big feature. Now, of course, you could buy your own ringtones, though there wasn't really that great a choice, and they really didn't sound too good. So most people used that stereotypical iconic Nokia tone, which is a bit of an annoying tune to be honest, though everyone kind of loved it at the time, and it has become probably one of the most heard ringtones ever. There are also adaptations of things like Mozart, which sound interesting in that high-pitched Nokia tone, though it was kind of cool at the time and made this phone what it is. A huge feature that was way ahead of the curve in this was threaded chat. Now, we take this for granted today, and if you don't know what it is basically in your messages. For example, at the moment we would send a message and then the reply will appear underneath it. But in most phones, when this was released, you would get it almost like an email with a completely separate message for the reply, which took ages to kind of go in and out of all your messages rather than just seeing that threaded chat. And this ability was really good for a lot of people. I loved using it, and it was really futuristic at the time. I know that seems kind of basic now, but it was basically necessity in smartphones and has changed the way we communicate today. So this has pretty much been the end of my review. This is a brilliant phone for what it is. Of course, it's not going to compete with anything today. It simply doesn't have the power or the functionality, but for what it was and for its time, it was a brilliant, well-made, well-designed, and had tons of really, really nice features. Many people would say this was a defining piece of technology, and it is certainly going to go down in the kind of Hall of Fame of not only phones, but technologies in general. This was definitely one of the most popular mobile phones ever, and it is really, really interesting to look back at this. So please let me know your guys' opinions on this. Let me know if you had one. You can do that down in the comments section below. And if you've got any questions, you can also email me at the address in the description. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, share, and why not subscribe to my channel for more content, as there will be a lot more content coming very soon. Thank you very much for watching this video. See ya.